That's tremendous vision.
Yes, it is.
It is, it's lovely.
Yeah, we're really pleased about it.
I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, do the turf cutting now on phase 3, which extends right down to the end of Corporation Street. This is an absolutely incredible day for me today. I've been working 35 years in the National Health Service, and during that time I got some very good contacts in the voluntary sector, in the local authority and in the health service. And having finished 2 previous projects, the hospice and the homes for severely disabled people, I thought one of the great projects that needs to be done in St Helens was a multi-agency resource centre. And it was against that background that one day I was driving down here, down Corporation Street, and I saw the old Rivoli Cinema. I thought to myself, what a fantastic site that would be for a multi-agency resource centre. And I looked up and I saw a for sale sign, Cheston's. And I remember thinking, yes, that is it, location, location, location. And I took the telephone number down and I went straight back to the office and I said to Elaine, who's here, get them on the phone, let's find out how much it's going to cost. And I rang them up and they said, well, it's come on the market at over 440,000, but forget that. Please come and talk to us in Manchester about it. We're open to offers. So I went over with my friend Simon, who'd been helping us with the Dorothy Street development. We went over to Manchester, and the guy said, there's been little interest in this site, make us an offer. Well, we did make him an offer. It was £97,000, and he said to us, I think frankly that's insulting, and the board of Greenall Wickley will not even look at it. A couple of weeks later, I got a letter to say, your offer has been accepted. Who are you? And can we have a deposit?
That all happened back in 1999, after which Tony quickly formed a new company to take the project forward, aptly naming it the Millennium Centre St Helens Limited, not realising at the time that government initiatives meant the name Millennium Centre would be used up and down the country. Tony now had the unenviable task of raising the deposit, but having a track record of successful projects in his wake, it took little persuading for organisations to get behind Tony's vision. St Helens Physically Disabled Society, as well as St Helens and District Blind Society, were quickly on board, enabling Tony to place his deposit.
Following on from there, numerous organisations started to come on board, and we could see that the site of the Rivoli wasn't going to be big enough to meet all the needs. Because coincidentally, at the same time, the government had invited every health authority in the country to put forward bids to become a pilot walk-in centre. And our local PCG, that's the primary care group, rang me up to say, could I help them by putting a letter from the Community Health Council to append to their bids to help them be successful in acquiring a pilot status for a walk-in centre. Now it so happens I was able to be a little bit more helpful because I was able to give them a letter that week from the Blind Society, the Millennium Centre, the Physically Disabled Society and the Community Health Council, and those 4 letters were appended to their bid.
Such was the high level of community support for the project that within weeks it was announced that St Helens had been successful in its bid to become a pilot walk-in centre. This resulted in £1.8 million in the kitty, enabling Phase 1 to begin. Tony's next job was to acquire other sites, the old shirt factory next door to the Rivoli, the Ingham Garner site and the old amusement arcade. His sights were also set on the Spanish restaurant in Bickerstaff Street.
After some time, we managed to acquire that site, which included a restaurant, which is very good because from that restaurant we get a reasonably good rent, which helps go towards subsidising the rents in the Millennium Centre, because none of the voluntary organisations pay rent. Everybody pays a service charge, but nobody pays rent. And the whole idea is everybody pays pro rata for the amount of space they have in the building.
The vision that Tony has is for a multi-agency resource centre for disadvantaged people living in the borough, which will promote social inclusion. Being situated adjacent to St Helens Central train station and the town's central bus terminus will mean easy access for all its users. By October 2001, Phase 1 had been completed, which was very much to do with the NHS walk-in centre.
Phase 2 has also now been completed, which is more in line with our original vision about involving the voluntary organisations. We have an organisation that provides counselling and psychotherapy, another organisation that's moved in there. So it's been really quite successful, Phase 2.
The opening ceremony for Phase 2 said it all: achievement, success, pride, joy, and a coming together of community spirit. There are potentially 4 phases to the whole site. On March the 22nd, 2004, work started on Phase 3. There'll be a good mixture of NHS, local authority and voluntary sector based here. The new Blind Resource Centre is going to be here, as well as Age Concern and 2 or 3 other voluntary organisations.
2 key people were involved at the very beginning, and whilst I mentioned earlier that I don't like committees, I don't, but you do need to have that professional support. So I have Keith Jones, who's a solicitor, and Phil Ryan, the accountant. And we also have Nicholas Wilding, who is the son of Lady Mavis Pilkington, and the former mayor, Pat Jackson.
That is the thing about Tony. He had a vision and he knew how to come and pull it off and create something. And it's not everybody who can do that. To A, have the vision, and B, be able to pull it off. And he's had to bring together a terrific number of people. But the main thing is that at the back of this would not have happened without Tony and that basic vision that he had. And whatever it ends up at the end, wherever that money has come from and what it looks like, and that's the vision that you get today.
It's because of Tony's vision and his tenacity to search out the funding and the partnership workings and the vision of seeing a completed centre for statutory organisations, voluntary organisations to come together and work in partnership for the benefit of the people of St Helens.
Tony's been very community orientated, very much about trying to get people to work together. No different than what the council is about now. And all that commitment and our enthusiasm for getting people to working together is resulting in this wonderful Millennium Centre. It's bringing together health, social care, rights advice, the voluntary sector and the different community sector groups, all in one space here at the town centre, the side of the train station, the railway station, right next door to the bus station and on top of the shops. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Tony has played 2 major roles: raising funds for the different trusts and the acquisition of sites.
It got going with contributions from individual organisations that were going to be part of the Millennium Centre, namely the Physically Disabled Society, the Blind Society, but also we had the Mayor's Appeal. We had then support, very good support from the Pilkington's Family Trust, and a number of other trusts have made a contribution. We've also have as our presidents of the Harry and Mavis Pilkington Appeal, who's the name we are using to raise the funds.
The total cost of the project to date stands at £7 million, all of which has been raised since the purchase of the Riverley site in 1999.
This area where we purchased these sites suddenly became to be part of the conservation area and became eligible for European funding, which again was a huge plus in terms of taking forward the Phase 3 development. One of the great problems in St Helens is that many of these voluntary organisations have been operating from terrace properties, some from their own homes of the secretary or the chairman of a different organisation. All these organisations have all been fragmented. The whole purpose of the Millennium Centre is trying to get people to work not only together but to be able to provide a more integrated, seamless service. So when someone wants a service, they can go into the Millennium Centre and they can see Millennium Centre staff, and they can be directed within one roof to all the agencies that can give them support. For instance, the Blind Society will be there, but supporting the Blind Society will be the local authority's Blind Resource Centre. And then there will be the NHS's Visual Aids Clinic. So all those three organisations that were providing services for blind people are now all going to be together, integrated in the Millennium Centre.
Tony's idea is to empower people and enable them to receive improved and integrated services in a much better environment than they've had in the past. A safe environment which will also benefit organisations who can pool their resources, share meeting rooms, equipment and facilities. The key to the Millennium Centre's success lies in its location.
Location, location, location. If you were to take any building in St Helens and say which is the most accessible building for people, then you would put a pin in the Rivoli Cinema, the Millennium Centre, because it is right in the centre of town, directly opposite the bus station. We're having a new car park built at the side. We have the railway station behind. In fact, every bus route we passes the front door of the Millennium Centre. There will be no one that will not be able to get easy access to the Millennium Centre, which will be open till 10 o'clock at night in many of the services we're going to be able to provide.
European funding has provided for the redevelopment of the George Street area of the town and has brought a tremendous benefit to the Millennium Centre and the adjacent sites, complementing the work that's already been done. A complete facelift, which includes pedestrian areas and new street furniture, has brought the centre into a class of its own. Tony has given almost 4 decades to his work in the town and community of St Helens. His passion to help the underprivileged and those less fortunate saw him rewarded with the highest honour the town could bestow upon him. Tony was made a Freeman of the Metropolitan Borough of St Helens on February the 23rd, 2001. Phase 3 is now well underway, at an original estimated cost of £4.2 million. It's expected to be completed by the end of February 2005. Those proud organisations that have been a part of Tony Richards' vision and journey had the following to say.
The Millennium Centre will be much more accessible for our members.
This project shows a unique vision of determination to develop partnership, to provide advice and help to disabled people, which is accessible.
The Millennium Centre will enable our members and those of other voluntary organisations to access each other's services much more easily under the one roof.
We're delighted to be part of what is a really exciting, unique, innovative partnership project.
We're happy to be part of a project that will assist residents in the borough to access advice and information more easily.
I have to say, it has been stressful, but people tell me I live off stress. What I certainly do live off is buzz, and there's been loads and loads of buzz, and that's been one of the most exciting things about this project. Is we've got a great deal of satisfaction out of seeing it grow and develop the way it has. And I have to say, when I walk around now and look at it, I have to sometimes pinch myself to think that this used to be a dark cinema and full of pigeons and dereliction, and it's now so changed that in such a short period of time. Yeah. Well, that was nearly 12 months ago, but it's a great day today for St Helens, and it's a great day for the Millennium Centre, and there are many people to thank, and there are probably hundreds of people out there in St Helens, and I'm talking about all those public-spirited men and women who give up their time freely to serve the local community. They do it without financial reward or kudos. They do it because they care. They do it because they know they can make a difference and they can bring improvements to the lives of vulnerable people. This building, this Millennium Centre building, is a tribute to all those people, and it's a symbol of the partnership working. And it gives me great pleasure, and this is a great honour, to ask His Royal Highness to unveil this plaque.
Now, the only thing I have to say is that I can sincerely hope that Phase 4 is completed swiftly, to budget, and on time. Because it sounds to me as if you've been incredibly successful with Phases 1, 2 and 3. And judging from what I've seen, it's an absolutely wonderful facility for St Helens and for the voluntary organisations. The fact that everybody has worked together is fantastic, and I just wish you every continued success in your endeavours to complete the whole project. So well done, congratulations, good luck. Thank you very much.
I just think it's been a very special day for the Millennium Centre and everyone attached to it. And all the people, the organisations, the voluntary organisations that have been present at today's opening shows the amount of support that this centre has right across St Helens Borough.
And it does actually give a lift to the whole community. So I think it's been a great day.
The day Tony walked in and said, Elaine, I've just brought a cinema. All we've got to do now is pay for it.
We've had people backpacking in supermarkets, we've had collections in the church. A whole range of people have been involved in raising the funds, together with other sources from the trusts indeed. There is a tendency for organisations of all kinds to put the blinkers on and they don't really see the bigger picture. This is the challenge, is to try and open people's eyes to see the big picture and what this centre can achieve for everybody. Phase 4 is the next big challenge.
Northwest Video, keeping the community in the picture.